because I wish this video existed when I started my Disney college program. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Carolyn, and today I'm going to be talking you through all about bell service dispatch as a role on the Disney college program. So I wanted to make this video today because, you know, when I started the DCP and I got my itinerary, I saw that I had bell service dispatch, and despite a significant amount of research on the computer, very little exists in the way of information on bell service dispatch as a role. It's not a super common one. It's not one that you hear people talk about a lot. In terms of resorts, you're going to see more people get either dining, merchandise, or front desk concierge, but you don't really see bell service dispatch all that often. Now that I've been through it, I wanted to create this video for all of you that just got bell service dispatch on your Disney college program and you have no idea what you're going to be doing. So to start off, I am going to answer the question that I know all of you are thinking. No, you are not a bellman. That's it. You are not a bellman. You do not take bags to rooms except for very extreme specific circumstances, but you are not a bellman. There we go. You don't have to worry about that. What you do as a dispatcher is about, I'm gonna say 60% of your job is telling the bellman where to go. Bell service dispatch is actually usually the first people that you see when you walk into a resort. They either have a desk stationed outside at value and moderate resorts, at deluxe resorts, they're the first desk as you walk inside. So for example, when you go to the Grand Floridian, they're going to be the first desk immediately on your left. And they're connected with, not just at the Grand Floridian, but they're usually connected with the front desk concierge because they work very closely together. So that's, a unique opportunity. You get to be the first people that guests see on their Disney vacation sometimes, and that's really special. Bell service dispatchers are really great at answering all kinds of generic questions. Tell me, ask me when the buses go, ask me how you get to the Magic Kingdom, ask me how you get to Epcot, ask me anything. I can pretty much answer it. What bell services cannot do, and oftentimes it gets a little confused, is we don't have the same capabilities as front desk concierge for obvious reasons. They're two different roles. But the problem is with the desks being so close together and front desk concierge 9 times out of 10 having a line, guests will come up and ask you hey, my magic band's not working. We can't do anything with that. That is going to be a front desk concierge question. In general, if you ask a bell service dispatcher a question, we can answer it all. Ask your dining recommendations, talk to us. But the main thing that bell service dispatchers do is have bellmen bring those bags to and from rooms. Example here, family is walking in to the Grand Floridian for the first time. They stop by the bell services desk. They say, hey, we're checking in. Our room isn't ready. Can we leave our bags? Yep. Can definitely do that. A bellman will go store those bags in the luggage storage area. Every single resort has a luggage storage area. They'll then go over to front desk concierge, check in, do everything they need to do, go hang out in the parks until the end of the day. Come back from fireworks. They can either come stop by the bell services desk and talk to the dispatcher, or they can actually call down to the bell services desk from their room, and you're going to be speaking to the bell service dispatcher either way. They're going to say, hey, this is the XYZ family in room 1234. We'd like our bags now. And I go, great. A bellman will bring your bags up. And I tell the bellman, hey, through a computer system. But I tell the bellman, hey, the XYZ family in room 1234 wants their bags. And the bellman goes and brings it up. The inverse is also true for what is going on with YouTube ads. There we go, Mickey Mouse. The inverse is also true for checkouts. You can either stop by the bell services desk or call down from your room in the morning when you're checking out. Say, hey, this is the XYZ family checking out of room 1234, and the bell service dispatcher will go, great, I'll send a bellman up to grab your bags and store them. Easy as that. That is 60% of your job right there. And it's really not rocket science. You get a lot of cute and fun guest interactions without getting yelled at a ton. You do get yelled at a little bit because they think you're front desk, and then you're like, sir, I'm sorry, I cannot change your dining reservations. And they're like, well, you have a computer and you're next to the front desk, so therefore you're front desk. Well, you have a sign that says Bell Services. But it doesn't happen too terribly often. Another part of Bell Service Dispatch that actually I bet y'all didn't even know existed as like a thing in Disney hotels is Bell Service dispatchers accept grocery deliveries. So just about any grocery delivery provider, Amazon Fresh was a big one, Instacart shipped, you can have your groceries delivered to your Disney resort. The delivery person will bring them up to the Bell Services desk. I'll say, I have groceries for this family here, and I go, let me look at my computer system, make sure they're actually staying here, and if they are, we can go store those groceries in the back. You have to be staying at a resort to have groceries delivered to the resort. Now, Disney luggage storage areas all have a fridge and all have a freezer, so don't worry, your cold grocery items will stay cold. But same thing, when you come back from the parks, you can stop by the Bell Services desk or call down from your room and be like, hi, I want my groceries. And I look at my list of groceries that were delivered and I go, okay. And then I tell a bellman, hey, the XYZ family in room 1234 wants their groceries. They are from Instacart and they are on this shelf. That's it. Pretty simple, right? Storing things and telling people where to go. All right, this last one is the one that threw me for a loop, and like, I didn't expect me to have to do it. So I'm assuming if you watch this channel, you also watch Disney Food Blog. She loves to talk about how Disney resorts will transfer your luggage for you. And yes, that is something that Disney resorts do. That is something that Bell Service dispatchers do. You get set up in a big white delivery van. They literally just kind of throw keys at you and they're like, hey, these families want to move their bags to these different resorts. Have fun driving them. So yeah, you load up the van, you drive all over Disney property, you visit just about every single resort on Disney property, and you drop off those bags. On paper, like, it's really easy. And it's pretty easy once you get the hang of it, but it's definitely a weird, kind of overwhelming thing there in the beginning. Like, you're just giving a college kid just like free use of this van. I didn't have to take a driver's test. I don't even think they checked to make sure I had an ID now that I'm thinking about it. Didn't check if I had an ID. But yeah, you load up the van. On average, about, I'm gonna say 7 to 10 families transfer their bags from, I mean, I can only speak to the Grand Floridian, but from the Grand Floridian on a given day, which doesn't sound like a lot, but those 7 to 10 families probably have 7 to 10 bags each. My record for the number of bags for a single family was 48. It was a bride transferring from the Grand Floridian to Wilderness Lodge. She got a trip all by herself, like only her bags fit in the van. So yeah, it's that aspect of the job is physically demanding. However, like mentally, you can check out. You don't have to talk to anyone. You're just in the van, you drop off your bags, and then you tell the Bell Service dispatchers at whatever resort you're at, you're like, hey, I dropped off these bags for this family. And that's it. That's the job. That's only one shift a day. So let's say there are, at the Grand Floridian, there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 dispatchers on a given day. Only one of those is doing transfers. The rest are just doing regular dispatch procedures. So yeah, that's Bell Service Dispatch. Now, every single resort on Disney property, including Shades of Green, the Swan, and the Dolphin, all have Bell Services. But I'm gonna go ahead and say, as a Disney College Program participant, you can only work at moderate and deluxe resorts. Swan and Dolphin, Shades of Green, are not owned and operated by Disney. So you can only drop off bags there, but you will never have a shift there unless you're a Marriott employee, and then you'll work at the Swan and Dolphin. But value resorts are owned and operated by Disney, so why wouldn't Bell Service Dispatch be, why wouldn't you be able to work there? Well, at the value resorts, actually, we're gonna take a step back. Disney has a third-party company that they use for their valet services at every resort. You're gonna work as a Bell Service dispatcher, you're gonna work very closely with valet, because 9 times out of 10, they're taking the bags out of the back of the car and then the bellman's putting them into storage, but they're third party. They are not Disney employees with the blue ID. They have the green vendor ID. Disney uses this third-party company as Bell Services and valet at value resorts because the demand for those services isn't as high because of the lower price point. And when you get up to Grand Floridian, Polynesian, Animal Kingdom Lodge, Contemporary, you know, all of the deluxe resorts, people are going cuckoo for cocoa, you know, full service, which I understand. The Grand Floridian at its cheapest is like $750 a night. Why? So yeah, I totally get the full amenities, but that means as a college program kid, you will only be assigned, your primary location is either a moderate or a deluxe resort, so you don't have to worry about getting sent to All-Star Movies. I mean, you will drop off bags at All-Star Movies, but you will never be working there. So another thing, this is just a college program thing, not necessarily a bell service dispatch thing, but I think it is worth mentioning. You will get deployed. You can, like, my home location was the Grand Floridian, but I worked shifts at the Contemporary, Animal Kingdom Lodge, Coronado Springs, the Yacht Club, and the Beach Club. You will get sent to other resorts if like there are too many people at the Grand Floridian one day and the Yacht Club needs an extra person. It just happens, you're CP, you're the low man on the totem pole. It happens in every single role. Nothing to worry about. The role is exactly the same at every resort. Same computer system. You just have to change your spiel from Grand Floridian Bell Services, this is Carolyn, how can I help you? To Animal Kingdom Lodge Jumbo House Bell Services, this is Carolyn, how can I help you? I slipped up once or twice. I specifically had a woman call me out on it at the Contemporary. I picked up the phone and answered it as if I were at the Grand Floridian, and she said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I thought I was calling the Contemporary Bell Services." Yeah, that was really fun, but it's pretty chill getting deployed other places, and you can also pick up shifts at these other places. People give away shifts all the time. There's a whole Bell Services shift exchange Facebook group. You can pick up at other resorts, like if you only got scheduled 4 days a week, you can pick up a 5th day at a different resort, or see if one of your coworkers is giving away a shift. It's a comparatively laid back role. I think that's due to its nature that it's resorts and not parks. The parks are a whole nother level. They are intense, they are chaos because you are in the heart of it. Resorts, you get to take I mean, people are there obviously, but you get to take it's a little bit more of a breather. Now, in terms of hours, the earliest I could work, like show up for a shift, like a regular scheduled shift, was 6:30. That was the earliest like a regular Bell Services shift would start, and then the latest my shift, like a regular Bell Services shift, would end would be 11:30 at night. My shifts were always exactly 8.5 hours, so I would get an hour break, 30 minutes of which were paid and 30 minutes of which were not. So that meant I got exactly like 8 hours of pay every day. Then I also pretty much got scheduled 5 days a week. Exactly. My 2 days off varied and changed from week to week, but I consistently got 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. So I was getting 40 hours solidly every week, which was very nice. I did pick up 6th and 7th days occasionally at the castle because why not? But I was never stressed about my hours as a dispatcher. One last thing I want to add about Bell Service Dispatch is while you do have these set responsibilities of your job, you're also kind of an easy extra body. So really early in the morning or really late at night, no one's doing anything with their bags. You get to go on all kinds of fun special errands. So like, you're free, this girl fell and chipped her tooth, can you go put this Minnie Mouse doll in her room? This family's boy had an allergic reaction and they missed the last monorail to the TTC. Can you drive them over there in the company van? Sure, okay. You kind of do random things because you're just kind of a general all-around body. You kind of have to know a little bit about everything at the resort. And concierge, you know, they have to do the same thing. They have to know, you know, all about the resort, but people need their help more than they need Bell Services help, if that makes sense. So you get to do a whole bunch of random things. Like one day I got called in a couple hours early to do basically what was a pack shift, but it was a Grand Floridian pack shift. They had a whole reopening of Building 9 DVC Studios, and I got to go and stand there with Alice in Wonderland, the Mad Hatter, and the White Rabbit because I was a body and they needed someone to make sure nobody went on the walkway that they were on. Weird little things like that. There are also other like weird bonus shifts, like on race day weekends. You can get not called in, but you'd get scheduled at 4:30 because they run past, or at least they run past the Grand Floridian, and you have to make sure nobody gets run over. So I never got called to do one of those things. Goodness, but you're a jack of all trades. You do a little bit of everything. A lot of people think you're valet. You'll be transferring a lot of phones to the valet desk. A lot of people think you're housekeeping. You'll be transferring a lot of phone calls to housekeeping. Now, I think this is a Grand Floridian only like weird little thing. A lot of people think you're the bakery. People order cakes through the Grand Floridian bakery and they go to Bell Services to pick them up. I never quite figured that one out, but you just call the bakery and you're like, so-and-so's here to pick up their cake, and they come out and they bring it to them. It's a pretty easy role. Learning the computer system in the first couple days can seem a little bit overwhelming. I promise you it's not that bad. In reality, you're pretty much just clicking the same 3 buttons over and over and over again. And yeah, clicking the same 3 buttons, answering phone calls, storing assorted bags, and driving the van and dropping off other bags. That pretty much is Bell Service Dispatch in a nutshell. I hope this video was super helpful to you all. I know you all have been sending me so many good questions on Instagram. I love seeing all of you like, I'm starting my DCP as a Bell Service Dispatcher. What can you tell me? I love seeing that so much. Feel free to keep sending me those. But I hope this video helped answer some major questions and, you know, gives you a little insight as to what you'll be doing before you get there. Because I wish this video existed when I started my Disney college program. I mean, when you get attractions, everyone knows what you'll be doing. When you get merchandise, everyone knows what you'll be doing. When you get front desk concierge, everybody knows what you'll be doing, and nobody really knows what Bell Service Dispatch is. And I think it's because the job description, on the Disney Programs website it's not really accurate. It's just not. Like, it hits the major points, but not. I had no idea specifically what I would be diving into. So hope this video, you know, gives you a little breather. It's a pretty chill role. I'm not going to say there aren't going to be hard days. I'm not going to say there aren't going to be tricky situations, but compared to other roles, it's much more laid back, and it's very nice. It's a very fun role. I genuinely loved everyone I worked with at the Grand Floridian. Everywhere that I got deployed, everyone was so nice. Bell Services is pretty much just a big happy family, and you are going to have a blast. I hope you all enjoyed watching this video. I hope this helped answer some of your questions. If you have any more, feel free to send them to me on Instagram. I pretty much always respond immediately. Have a blast on your Disney college program, and I look forward to seeing you real soon. Bye!